Okay, so welcome back to BG Radio. I'm
Hi,
Hi, I'm sitting here with
Merav Batat.
Merav Batat, who is
I'm the director of NUR, Negev Urban Research Lab.
very cool. Okay, and I wanted to ask you. So you live here in Israel, actually.
I do.
You do. So my first question is actually, where did you travel from to attend the conference? So where do you live in Israel?
I live in Givatayim.
Okay, cool. So you did travel a little while
I did
to
2
get here,
hours. Yeah,
and how was it?
it was fine, actually.
How do you like the desert as opposed to the Twin Peaks of Givatayim?
Well, I come to Beersheba almost every day,
Okay.
and I love to travel to the desert, so this is a familiar territory.
Okay, nice. And you work at the university.
I do.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, what is your main activity when it comes to global climate change?
Okay, so maybe I'll just start telling a little bit about the lab.
Okay, yeah.
So, NUR is a collaboration of Ben Gurion University, the Sami Shamoun College, and MIT Media Lab, the City Science Group. We are a part of 10 international labs, belong to MIT. We are the first lab to open in Israel and actually in the Middle East, and the only one who is situated on the edge of the desert.
Okay.
And that's what makes us unique as opposed to the other labs. So, of course, most of the labs deal with climate change, but the concept or the notion of desert urbanism is unique to us. The lab was established almost 2 years ago. We are located in Beersheba, not far from the university campus. And this is one of our themes, climate change and specifically heat and mitigation of heat, and understanding how it affects how we move and how we approach our cities, how mobility patterns in the macro level and the micro level are affected by if you have shade or if you don't, if there are bicycle lanes or if there aren't, if it's comfortable for you to move in the urban space. And the Negev is just a great and unique place to explore all these notions.
Very interesting. And you said you guys definitely do a lot of things. And I wanted to know if there's anything specific that you are specifically proud of that you guys are searching or something that you guys did that is really interesting to talk about.
So yes, we are doing several things. So we are now working, and what we do at the lab is that we develop or we build urban platforms, data-based urban digital platforms that are we develop them in order to help decision makers. Okay, and how you can have more equitable decision making regarding to urban space. And what we're doing right now is investigating and building new models that explore also UTCI, how people feel, human comfort, how people feel when they walk in the street. And Beersheba, as a city that is in the desert, although many times it kind of like ignores the
Yeah.
desert or doesn't want to even recall the desert, it could really be a starting point of how desert cities should be planned, or what does it mean desert urbanism. You come from the Ben Gurion University,
I
right?
do, yeah.
So the campus is really nice. There's
Campus is nice.
a lot of trees and there's shade, but once you step out of the campus, if you go on Ben Gurion Boulevard or on Rager
Anywhere in
Street,
Beersheba, actually.
or if you live around the campus and you want to walk to the campus, it's really, really hot.
It is. It's hot and the sun is really strong.
So what we have done at the lab, first of all, we were looking at mobility patterns in the macro scale. From where do people come to the campus, to the Soroka Hospital, to the high-tech campus at Gev-Yam, what's all called an innovation district. From where do they come? When do they come to the campus? And what sort of transportation do they use? Then we had a survey asking about 200 students about how they arrive to campus, where do they stop on the way to campus? Do they use bicycle? Do they walk? And what bothers them? And most of the students said it is hot. It is really, really hot. The lights are too long, and many of them walk to campus, but it's not a pleasant experience. And if you want to create a vibrant innovation district, okay, a vibrant center in the city of Beersheba, which is the heart of the metropolis, climate is a very big issue. So what we do at the lab, we develop different models that can also create a digital twinning of the real world. And one of the things I'm going to present later on today at the conference is a platform we're working on right now that it allows you to see the UTCI, which is human comfort, during different times of the day, different days of the year, and different scenarios. Okay, so what happened, let's say, if Old Ben Gurion Boulevard would be one big forest? How would that affect how I, as a pedestrian, when I walk in the street, how it would affect how I feel?
Mm-hmm.
Or what happens if we create high-rise buildings? Or what happens if we create, add different elements to the street? How does it affect climate? So
But
this
how do you, sorry for interrupting, but how do you actually check something like that? Because you're talking about possibilities
Mhm.
of reorganizing the public space. But if you want to check how sky rises affect desert urbanization, you have to find, like, do you build the sky rise? Do you find the sky rise that is already built and you try to monitor data there? Or
So right now we have just created like these several scenarios, which are not maybe the plan, but we are now working on a platform that you can plug in whatever, let's say, building or scenario that is actually on the table.
Mhm.
And you can check in real time how is it going to affect shading, how is it going to affect the UTCI, and of course also how you would feel in such a space. And how you would feel, we're doing it by using 3D scanning,
Mhm.
which is a very cut-of-the-age way of modeling the real world, and adding augmented reality into the scanning. So
Interesting.
you can put the glasses and walk through, let's say, Ben Gurion Boulevard and decide which elements you want to add, and not only see how you feel, but also how it really affects human comfort.
Do guys turn on the AC stronger, like the heating stronger when
Well,
there's
in the
sunlight?
lab, yes, but outside, it's really, I mean, the data we receive is actually from the weather station located at the
Okay, cool.
BGU. So now working on how we can really have a real-time data in the model. So that's how we receive the weather data. And then you have all these models that do all these calculations.
That's really cool. I have to say, as someone who is still living in Beersheba for the past 5 years, that it's a big issue, that people are talking about it. As long as I've been living in Beersheba, people have been talking about how Beersheba is rough to live in because it feels like the city doesn't really take into account that it's in the desert. And I know of a couple of social movements that are trying to change it in the municipal level. And it's good to hear that there are people who are trying to find out how to do it in the best way so that when the decision to change will arrive, and it probably will, we can do it with the right mindset and with the right tools. So
Yeah, so that's exactly what we're doing. We're developing tools, and actually, there's a current project we're working with Desertec,
mhm.
with the accelerator at the Ben Gurion University, Oasis, with the municipality, with Beersheba, and with Derech Tzel. It's a collaboration that has academy, industry, and municipality, and it's an accelerated program. So there are 6 startups that most of them already have a product regarding either energy-wise or either shading in the urban space. And we are doing all the climate analysis and also applying how, if they develop a product, how it would appear within the urban space and what would be the application. So there are even real-time projects. It's
Yeah,
not only theory.
that's really cool. And I wanted to ask you if there's anything in your personal life that you have met or personal experience that has made you change the way you think about climate? Something that was meaningful for you and made you walk this path in life?
Um, I mean, I think that it's not only one thing, but I did do a program called Chikma.
Mhm.
And in my previous job, I was working for the Ministry of Economy and Industry. And that program, that's the focus of about climate and how you as a public servant can create change within the system. And that program did affect me immensely. And when I was working in the Ministry of Economy, I did promote the concept of resilient urban industrial zones. So yeah, and it's a thing we have been working with the Moata Libniya Yeruka,
Mhm.
developed even an index for industrial zones to see how they can be more adaptive to climate change and more resilient and more sustainable. So I have been done things in my personal life and also in my professional that have brought me to really be aware of how important is climate change. And I think also as an architect, climate is maybe one of the, if not the major crisis the world is facing.
From an architectural standpoint. So
Yes,
you have how do you call it? You've been trained as an architect.
I did. But
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting place to come from, and it makes sense, like considering what you do. So it's very interesting. And I wanted to ask you one last question. Is there anything here that you've heard? I know you've just arrived, but is there anything in the past year that you've heard that surprised you concerning climate change?
Well, it's just, it's an issue that everybody addresses. So there's a lab in Andorra I visited a year ago. So Andorra is a total different place than Israel. And of course, a total different scenery from the desert.
Mhm.
They have so many trees. They don't know what to do with all the trees they have there. But they're also facing climate change. And for them, one of the biggest issue is also what will happen when extreme weather, what would happen with fire, because there's so many forests that's surrounding Andorra. And how do they monitor the trees is really, really interesting. And although it's let's say, you have there the forest and here we have the desert, so it's in a way the opposite. But we are both facing climate change, and how you monitor trees and how you create better um, infrastructure for trees and forests to evolve is really, really crucial. So that's a very interesting thing I have crossed by during the past year.
Cool. And is there anything else that you want to say? Unprompted, something that you feel like you haven't said and is important to say, something that you feel moved into saying?
Well, I'll just add that the lab is open to the public. So we are even located out of campus. Okay. So we are sit on the street. Everybody can walk in. And the tools we are developing is actually not only for, let's say, high level decision making, but also for the public. So they can come and experience and respond. So we really want to invite everybody to come and be maybe more, also be involved and know where they live, and also come up with ideas of how we can create a better and more resilient streets.
So everyone, you've heard it here. You're invited to the lab. How do they come? How do they contact you?
Well, our door is always open, so they can just walk. We are on Shderot Rager 85, the building of Merkaz Morim, or they can look at us. We have a website, LinkedIn,
Very cool.
many ways.
So you've heard it here first, guys. You can come and visit the lab. So thank you very much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
And I hope you have a pleasant conference.
Thank you so much.